In this video, I'm going to give you a few tips on what elements to include in your DADA demo class. This video is particularly geared towards those of you who've never taught English online before. In my previous video, I went through some other tips such as TPR, which is a really important element to include in your lesson. So if you've not seen that, do take a look at my previous video. I will link it in the description box below, so you can look at that and then come back to this one, because TPR and some of the other aspects that I've included in that video are really important. If at the moment you're doing your research and you're thinking about working for DADA, I would greatly appreciate it if you were to use the link that I have, my referral link to apply for a job at DADA. I would appreciate that, and you will find that in the description box also. So let's begin. In this first picture, just take a look. Yes, I know there's not much in it, but this is the type of thing that you could be confronted with when you're teaching online. And I want to give you a few guidelines as to what to do in this type of scenario. First of all, you could ask your student, what can you see? And bearing in mind, because this is a demo class, your student will be an adult who's pretending to be a 7-year-old child. You still need to act the part in whatever you do. So when you're asking what is it, remember to use TPR, and if you're not sure what that is, as I said, you can check my previous video. And then you can go through the elements on the page. For example, what can you see? Wait for a response. If a response is not forthcoming, you can then model the sentence that you would like your student to use. I can see a butterfly. And that's a way in which you could get into this particular lesson. On this slide, we can use circling as a teaching element. So you could say, what is it? And circle the cat, as I've done in this picture here. To go a little deeper, you could ask your student, do you have a cat? When it comes to reading, one of the things I would greatly encourage you to do is to say, let's read, and to underline the word that you would like your student to read. So on this image, yes, there's just one word. In a classroom situation, you may have a whole page, or part of the page has text. You can underline the beginning text, begin to read, because you're not sure, can the student read, can't they read, but this will give you an in, so you can begin reading together for a few words and then stop so you can hear your student reading if they're able to read by themselves. In this image, I'm simply demonstrating the fact that you could write the word cat. In most online environments, you will find that you have a pen so you can mark on the slide. And so you can take advantage of that, and you could ask your student whether it's to write the word, whether it's to write numbers, that sort of thing. That's an element you can add into your lesson. So look through the slides when you have them sent to you after applying to DADA and see where you could include anything like this in your lesson. In the next slide, you have obviously a big letter C. So you could ask your student, what letter is it? You could also add a little phonics in here and say C makes the sound k, k, and add that element into the lesson. So then you've taken the lesson away from just simply being just what you're seeing on the page. You're bringing an extra element into it. In this slide, we're taking the opportunity to bring in numbers. So you can look and say, how many flowers can you see? Let's count. And you could write the numbers on the screen as I've demonstrated here and count all of the numbers. In this slide, I've taken a slightly different approach where rather than writing the numbers on screen, you could ask, how many butterflies can you see? Wait for your answer, and then you could ask them, if they've answered correctly, to write the number 3. So that's an element you could add into the class. Finally, on this screen, you could look for an element, circle it, and ask, what color is it? And that's another way to bring another element into the class, and you could introduce other colors. Say if you've got a board which has different colors in, you could then bring that into the lesson as well. So it's for you to elaborate and to bring yourself, to bring your character into the lesson, and that's the best way to go. And if you can sing, do that too. You can sing the alphabet, you have the letter C in front of you. You can sing that with your students. So these are just some tips for you to really do your best and give you a guideline as to what type of elements you could include in your lesson. And also give your student lots of praise, whether that's good reading, something along those lines, that type of thing. Giving praise and giving rewards throughout the class is something that's really important throughout the lesson. So, my name's Alicia. I hope you found this helpful. Please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.